Okay, so welcome to part two. Today we're going to talk about 5 best practices that build confidence quickly. How do you get the kind of confidence that you need? Well, in the last section, I showed you my step-by-step model for converting your expertise to cash. And if you need to review that, take your time with it. But we saw that your belief set was the most important and fundamental factor for your success. It can create confidence or cause fear. So in this section, we're going to explore how to get the confidence you need to move forward in a fun and free way. And you know what? I'm all about fun. Honestly, I'm all about fun. I'm about freedom. I'm about fulfillment. Yes, but you know what? If I'm not having fun, then chances are I'm not going to do what I need to do. So there are all kinds of ways to increase your confidence. Let's take a look at this. There are so many books written out there. And these 5 ways are by no means exhaustive. But I'm going to tell you, this is what's propelled me and my clients to move forward to achieve 5-figure months consistently, doing what we love and what we're called to do. I want to share this with you. All right, so the first one, trust in God. We're going to go through that. Know why charging well is right and good. Number 3, identify and remove limiting beliefs. We're going to talk about that in section 3, I believe. Getting clarity. We talked about that in the last section, about how you need clarity about who you are, your why, where you're going, your programs, your packages. And then taking that and stepping out, letting people know, marketing yourself, promoting yourself, establishing a platform. And you know what happens when you do that? You're going to get validation. Believe me, you will get validation. And that is going to give you more confidence. So each of these steps leads to more confidence, and then it just kind of recycles, because the more you step out, the more you try, the more validation you're going to get, the more confidence you're going to get. Okay? Let's talk about the first thing. I could say so much about this, but let me limit the conversation to trusting God within the context of your business. Yes, God cares about your business. Sometimes God in business seems like totally irrelevant subjects. But when I was working for a corporation and they got into a lot of fear, they had a mutiny. They tried to steal from the company, and I became a whistleblower. It was terrible. But one of the things I realized from that experience is that trusting God gives you greater faith. It gives you a feeling of greater abundance, that you don't have to kick, claw, and scratch trying to make a buck. But if you're not trusting God, you're more prone to do things that are illegal, immoral, unethical, or certainly outside of your character and your value system. So I'm a firm believer that if you trust God, you are going to be able to do your business with greater ease. Now, I want to say something about that, though, too. When I say the word God, all kinds of images, notions, and backgrounds come into play. It just does. The word God can trigger comfort or stress, and it all depends on where you're coming from. When I say God, I'm referring to a personal, loving, and generous God who created you out of love and for love. He set you up. Think of that a minute. He set you up and all that is in his creation for abundance, increase, multiplication, and success. You're set up that way. He set it up in the world. He set it up in the universe. He set it up in energy. So when I say trust God, I'm saying trust that God pre-packaged you with your dreams and your destiny and all the goodness, provision, and power to bring it to fruition. Therefore, God is desirous of partnering with you to empower you to fulfill your calling. He sees you as magnificent, and so it would do you well to align yourself with his view of you, despite what your history says. Another thing to trust God for is divine strategies. One morning as I contemplated how I was going to get my message across to a large audience for an upcoming speaking event, I received a divine download of the talk, complete with human props. This turned out to be the beginning of my signature process for immediate and massive breakthroughs. So I regularly consult God for ideas or connections or strategies, because I tend to second guess myself. But when I know an idea is from God, I just go with it, and it always ends up productive and successful. By the way, the word confidence has a Latin origin, which means firmly trusting, bold, together with faith. And it's said that people who have a firm trust in God radiate an inner light. Their calm and inner strength can be tangibly felt. And often words are not even necessary to see or feel it. It just is. Wouldn't you love that kind of magnetic ease? If you don't know how to access God, his provision or strategies, or if you have too many blocks because of old religious tapes, then be sure to reach out to us so we can help you. We live in an abundant world, created by a God who totally supports you and your mission. You are here for a purpose, and that in itself will create opportunities so it can be fulfilled. Scarcity is an illusion. Charging for your services is not taking money away from someone, but giving and receiving a divine exchange. Where love is, trust is. Building a relationship on trust is rare today in this fear-based, dog-eat-dog world. You can stand strong, being one who leads with love. Charging is the gateway to an open and loving relationship where good work gets done. So, consider, if you will, charging for your services that will change your client's life, an act of love for both of you. All right? Now, the second thing that is going to build your confidence is if you know why charging well is right and good for both you and your client. I often believe that if we know why we're doing something and we have the logical, reasonable reasons, we're more apt to employ those reasons in that activity or whatever that practice is. So I want to give you those, okay? Powerful reason number one, better results. You and your clients will get better results. Believe me. In the early days, I had a number of mentors say that people who showed their commitment to their growth with a healthy financial investment actually achieved better results. I have to say, I was a skeptic. I suspiciously thought they were just making self-serving statements because they charged top dollar for their services. I didn't like paying tens of thousands of dollars for coaching, but that was my lack mentality speaking back then. Well, it turns out they were right. Though I had a lot of resistance, I had to later admit that I learned way more than I thought I had, and I made sure I learned way more than not, because I was paying. And I progressed a lot farther than I realized too. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't people out there who promise much and deliver little. But for the most part, you do get what you pay for. Well, as my own prices have increased, so have the commitment level and results of the people I attract and desire to work with me. I almost didn't believe it. But those who invest much gain much. Years ago, when I did this for free or for low cost, I didn't see much desire in my clients to change. Yes, they love coming to me to get validated, to vent, or get a fresh perspective, but it was draining, and I wondered why. They weren't making changes. They didn't want to. Well, this past experience was another reason why I almost quit. But when I discovered that charging more brought a more committed and invested clientele, oh my gosh, the work became not only more fulfilling and financially exciting, but also fun, honestly. I have the best times because I have the best clients. And why? Because they're invested, they're motivated. They want to get rid of all the false beliefs that are holding them back. They want to take action. They want to fulfill their dreams. And that kind of motivation and passion, working with people like that, it's fun. If you're not working with people like that, then put that down and on an intention that that is what you desire, and declare it for yourself. You'll start to see those people come into your path when you own that desire. Powerful reason number 2, you deserve it. Your work deserves to be honored and well compensated. I'm sure that you have come to this point in time equipped with knowledge, experience, skills, and gifting. I'm sure you didn't just happen upon this, but you've spent much time, energy, heart, soul, and money developing your skill set. Now, maybe you didn't do it consciously for this business, but now you realize, oh my, I was made for this. You've invested dearly, and others get to benefit. Your clients benefit directly from all the investments into your craft and business. Of course, you should be compensated. Now, this is a biggie. Powerful reason number 3. Perceived value is a significant factor in how well a business does. Many times, the perceived value of a service is less than the actual value because the service provider does not present himself well. Well, our prices can dictate perception. Little sip here, second. That's right. Our prices can dictate perception. Case in point. Every year, like I said, I have a business retreat in a luxurious location by the sea. It garners rave reviews. It's my sweet spot. But it wasn't very profitable, and if I didn't do something, I was not going to be able to continue. So I decided to do some market research, and I found members of my target audience, and I got them together, and I gave them the lowdown on the goodies. I didn't tell them what I had been charging. I just gave them a lot of the details and what they could experience if they came. And then I asked what they thought I should charge. You might want to try that as an exercise. Tell somebody about your program, or tell somebody, and not just about the features, but what they're going to get from it. What are the outcomes? What's the experience? Experience is the major deal these days. People want experiences. So that's what I did. I told them about this experience, and then I asked them what they thought I should charge. Well, they all told me about $2,000 to $2,500. Well, I gasped. Then they asked me, well, what have you been charging? And I had to sheepishly confess $597 for 3 days. Well, most of them couldn't believe it. And they tried to correct my thinking. They kind of got all up in arms and in my face about it. But there were some others that went quiet. And when I asked them what they were thinking, I was stunned. So one lady who has a multi-million-dollar nonprofit organization told me how excited she was when I first described the event, even wanting to come to the next one. But when I shared the old pricing, she got quiet because she had immediately changed her mind, concluding that I must not know what I'm doing. I was blown away. If people are looking for results, then most of the time they want the best. If they're looking for a wonderful experience, most of the time they want the best. You could be the best, and too low a price might prevent them from ever finding out. That almost happened to me. And so the very next time I advertised the event, You bet I raised my prices. I didn't care if nobody came to it. I still need to make that shift. And guess what? My pricing going from $5.97 all the way up to $14.97, people paid. And I had a full house. I was shocked. Pricing affects perception. How do you want to be viewed? And the last reason I want to talk about is a very simple reason. You're in business. That makes you a business owner. This isn't a hobby, it's a business. Your business needs to make a profit in order for it to grow. But even more basic, your business needs to make a profit to even be a business. Now, the IRS will allow you to be called a business and take all the deductions afforded to a business, even if you have losses. But if you do that for too many years in a row, you may get questioned as to whether you really are a business or a hobby. So let's not risk that intrusion. Call yourself a business owner, act like a business owner, and determine that you're going to charge well for your services. Put your stake in the ground and commit. Otherwise, those who are meant to benefit from the work you do may never receive it because, well, you'll be out of business. That doesn't need to happen. Making an additional profit has additional benefits, like I mentioned earlier. Taking my husband to Paris. I've been able to pay for more education, travel, weddings, causes I believe in, debt elimination, and a sporty brand new car. Financial freedom is not about how much money you have in the bank. Let me say that again. Financial freedom is not about how much money you have in the bank. Believe me, I worried more when our coffers were full. Financial freedom is knowing you have the ability to generate income and create wealth. Financial freedom is knowing you have the ability to generate income and create wealth. So charge with confidence and convert your expertise to cash. This is one fabulous way to start your financial freedom. In the next section, we are going to be tackling the whole issue of mindset and strengthening your beliefs to gain the results you desire. Talk to you then.